What's going on, guys? I'm SimpleSimon. I'm your comic book noob. Welcome to the Noob Rebirth. I'm here at Big City Comics with my boy Mark. Say hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. Let's taste the coffee before we start.
Taste the coffee before we start.
It's not very hot today, Mark.
Not even a thank you. Not even a thank you.
Sorry.
Not even a thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know why I put up with you, mate.
Today's episode is called Save Your Local Comic Shop.
Okay, I'm not saying to save mine.
No, you don't need saving.
That's right.
Anyway, let's do this. I think it was like maybe a week ago or so on my weekly comic haul, I mentioned that one of the local stores here, Secret HQ, Comic Emporium, they made a post about
Whereabouts is that?
They're out in Beaconsfield. Great shop. I've featured them in a couple of Nurse Day Outs before. Really lovely people there. Yeah, I love that shop. But they made a post on their social media basically saying that, that they're really struggling. They went through some sort of hacking incident where they lost a bunch of money, and they basically just like, there's been a lot of their standing order customers who have ghosted them, a lot of people not picking up their books and things like that, and they're really falling behind. They're struggling to stay open, and they said if things don't turn around quickly, they might have to shut their doors by January, which is not very far away. I'll leave a link to all their socials and all that below, so if you want to show some support, please do. They're a fantastic shop, but I want to talk about today, I guess, the struggles and things of being a smaller comic shop. Obviously, there's quite a few here in Melbourne. We're quite lucky,
We're
actually.
all small. We're all small.
Well, there's the bigger stores. You've got your Minotaurs. You've got your
Minotaur's not big anymore, mate.
Well,
Minotaur's
yeah,
not
well,
a
that's
comic
true.
book store.
That's true, but they're still, you got to count them as a comic shop. They have comics there. They have, any store that sells floppies is a comic shop.
No.
All right? Yes. Anyway, Minotaur, All-Star, I guess they're a big store, but again, they've shrunk to half of what they used to be.
I'd say All-Star is bigger than Minotaur now.
In comics, yes, but as a store, no. And then you got Alternate
I beg
Worlds.
to differ. Leave us the comment below and tell us what you think. Here in Melbourne, of course.
And then you got Alternate Worlds, who are very well, they have a lot of history, I guess, with their shop, but they just You obviously would experience a lot of that, of people, you know, obviously you're very generous. Sometimes you could say you're over generous with some of the things that you do for customers, but what's it like as far as, like, I'm sure you've had plenty of customers come and go, and plenty of those customers probably have piles of books that are just sitting here waiting to be picked up, right? And how much does that affect?
It affects. It affects.
Can we swap copies? Or?
No, that's yours. It affects in a way of, I don't know, look, when I moved from Fitzroy to here, I had people ghost me. Yeah, no worries, we'll come here, I still want my stuff. Most comic book store owners, you know, we would rather the truth. It's much better than getting, in a phone call, getting someone saying, listen, I can't afford it, I'm gonna have to cut my order, I can't pick up anything. And that's fine, we'd rather that than being ghosted.
I think you're very understandable in that situation. I don't think necessarily every comic shop is. I mean, I hear a lot of mixed things. Like, obviously, I think the stores that I get good feedback on, like all around, is going to be stores like Secret HQ. All-Star have a lot of good reputation as well. And then a lot of other stores, I guess, get a mixed bag of reviews.
Well, I don't know about that, but I only know what I do.
Okay. But obviously, I mean, moving locations is a big one. You went from Fitzroy, which is kind of central to everything, to out west. I think you were always going to lose a customer base.
And that's understandable, of course. But I also have customers who came with me as well to out here. But it's understandable, it is far, but, you know, just be honest and say, listen, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Some people have said, oh, you know what, I like, because I didn't come straight into a shop. I went into a storage locker, right?
Yeah, those are the, you know what, I mean, let's name those. Like, that was like the dark days of Big City when he had no stores.
It was a dark day.
But it was kind of like this, it was like a unsure moment where I didn't know if you were going to get a shop, because we waited, what, 2 months?
2 months.
But it was kind of fun going to the storage locker, and I met a lot of your regulars where we would kind of just sit in this little storage locker and talk comic books for like you go there to pick up your books, but you're caught there for 2 hours just nerding out and stuff. It was kind of fun.
A lot of those customers said, you know, like, I want to go to a comic book store. I don't want to come to a storage locker, and that's fine. everyone is different. You know, I don't feel bad towards people who tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Do not ghost anyone. It's just a bad look. In saying that, it's a shame because, you know, some of it you can put it on the shelf, or some of it you can put it into packs, but it hurts the back pocket, absolutely.
Especially because you're probably one of the smaller shops here. So I think I've explained before, Mark doesn't really over-order. He basically orders for his regular customers for their standing orders, and for popular titles you'll get a couple on the shelf.
Correct.
Sometimes I feel like you miss the ball on what you think is going to be popular.
Oh well, you can't predict it. The trials and tribulations of owning a comic book store, getting back to subject, is, you know, it's those types of decisions. What are you going to get on the shelf? What aren't you going to get on the shelf? Sometimes the distributors don't help at all because they don't really care about us in Australia, let alone they probably don't even care of the small ones in America. But you know, we try and we keep going, and you know, we promote and we push as much as we can. But you know, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the actual in the new comics that are coming out these days. People aren't rushing out to get them. They're not, because it's they're not that great. They're a comic book company, so they have to keep releasing new content. I understand that. They're good. That's good for the customer because it gives them choice. If you speak to any retailer, they'll probably agree. It's better to have good titles than just crap titles, just to make up numbers. Something you have to remember too as a retailer, you don't have to get everything in. Just because it's offered to you, just because it's on your ordering list, it doesn't mean you have to order it. Not at all.
What about, I mean, compare the old shop to now. You used to get a lot more titles for the shelf back then.
Well, it was a new store. I had to fill my store with something.
It was a really, man, I wish I could have shown the viewers your original store. It was just a really...
pristine.
It was just a really nice look. Like you walk in, you're like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was
white.
Yeah, but just like the layout, like you walk in and there's just this one long back-to-back comic new release shelf, like back-to-back. One side was DC, one side was Marvel, and it was just full of titles. And then you had Image and Indies off in the corner.
Yeah, I think DC's was. Oh yeah, Image was on off the corner. That's right. Yeah,
Image and Indies off to the side and the corner. Yeah, but it was just a really. I've never seen a comic store presented like that.
It was boutique is the word. I could have put stuff on the walls. I could have painted a mural on the wall. The idea was I wanted to paint like a cityscape on the walls, you know, like a big city comics. But I didn't want to because it's not. I was paying so much for rent, and I didn't want to touch the walls because if I left, which I did, I would have to repaint them and spend more money. So I decided not to do that.
When did you decide to make the decision to cut back on your new release titles? I mean, when you first moved in here, I still feel like you got a lot more titles for the shelf.
Again, coming into a new store, new area, I had to bring that. I had to put that more on the shelf.
Was it COVID that affected?
Definitely COVID. And now that COVID's over, you know, the dollar went up.
And that's not just here. Like obviously, comic books in general went up with the US title prices.
Correct,
well.
and shipping. So like shipping was so you had to really be careful what you ordered. I have a look at what people are ordering on their standing order, like pre-ordering, should I say, on their standing order. You know, like say one person or 3 people order it, put it on their standing order for a pre-order. I usually put it on the shelf. I sort of gauge through that because you can't. You have to have some sort of gauge. You can't just think. You think it's going to sell. And again, there's not a lot of people coming into the store gagging for the new titles lately. And that's DC and Marvel. You know, they're not the bee's knees anymore.
Something I know that you've always said about your store is you wanted it to be a comic shop. You didn't want to really do the toys and the pops and all that. And you've always had a tiny element. Like I'm talking like, if you guys haven't been to Big City, I'm talking like 2% of that stuff here in the store, well, and then everything else
statues and figurines go with the
culture.
I made that decision not to have action figures. I just want it to be purely.
But do you think
comic book store.
So my theory is on a lot of. I feel like a lot of the comic shops have to bring that stuff in because it helps the business. Like, you have to kind of evolve with what sort of, which is why Pops sort of made their way to here, because, and obviously Pops have died off now, but Pops had their moment where they were crazy. People loved them. For example, I know Alternate Worlds, sorry, I know they do like board game night, or not board game nights, what is it? They do the card game nights and things like that, which brings in people. And again, it sort of creates a community in a sense. At the old store, so I never went, but he used to do a powwow where he'd invite all his customers or regulars to basically gather. I mean, you tell me, I never went to one, so.
Yeah, so that was good. That's basically what we did. We talked about, you know, what comic books we were reading, what movies we were watching, what TV shows, that sort of thing.
When I first got into comic books, most of the comic shops I was going to, they didn't really, they didn't give you like a friendly vibe. Like, you would talk to them, and they could nerd out with you. That's no issue. But they wouldn't necessarily come up and approach you, and they wouldn't give you that extra service. Secret HQ definitely do, and you definitely do.
And All-Star definitely.
And All-Star are very friendly people, of course.
Yeah, no, but they created their own community as well. And the thing is, that's the lengths we have to go to as comic book stores. Obviously, All-Star have been around longer than I have. I haven't been around as long as they have. So I have to create that community more. And I suppose, you know, it's what we have to do, and we love it. I love the community, and I love the culture. So
because he loves to talk.
I do, but I love comic books, and I love talking about pop culture, and you know, all that stuff.
Just going back to just, I guess, customers ghosting and things like that. What goes through your mind when you have someone new come in and they ask you, hey, can you get this, can you get that, can you get this? Because I know in the beginning, you would always be, yeah, cool. But I know you've been burnt a couple of times.
I still do it.
You still do it?
Of course. This is how I look at it. So if they want me to order one book and that comes in and they don't pick it up, then it's one book. I'm not going to go broke on one book. I'll sell it to someone else or put it out on the shelf or whatever. But if it's like a, you know, $100 US book, yes, I get a deposit. Absolutely. You know, that's just the trust goes both ways. You know, I try not to. I've always said I don't want to become jaded. You know, with people burning me, I always have to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's who I am. I'm not going to change. You've got to always be conscious of what you order, how much you order. You know, and because otherwise that will send you out of business. So you just got to be really conscious of it. That's all.
Have you ever considered just bringing in the other stuff, like trialing stuff out?
Action figures.
New stuff, just, I mean...
Why would I want to compete with Zing? Why would I want to compete with JB Hi-Fi? Why would I want to compete with Target? Why would I want to compete with those? That's not what I do. This is a specialty store, and I want to keep it a specialty store. I don't want to turn into a Minotaur. I'm sorry, I'm not going to bust my balls, forget about my comic books, just to concentrate on action figures. I'm not going to do that. That's how I feel. And at the end of the day, this is how I also feel. I personally think that they are dust collectors. They'll sit there and
You'll get lucky one day.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I love my comic books and I want to stick to it.
Just last thing, I guess. I know we started this obviously with Secret HQ, and I know I trashed a few stores today, but you know, I don't mean that. I never.
A few?
I mean,
you only trashed
I guess
one, mate.
I only talked up.
Only one.
I only talked up a few stores today, but obviously, even stores that I don't like, I never tell people that you shouldn't buy from them. Like, if they're the only local comic shop, I just think that those stores need to be aware of what they do and need to be better. What do the people have to do to keep their comic shop doors open?
Standing orders is what pays the rent.
New releases?
Yeah, absolutely. And I always tell people who start standing orders, don't get over your head. Start small and see what you like. If you're new to the game and you want to read comics, start a standing order. It'll help your comic book store, but you know, start on it with a small list. That's what I'm saying.
I'm only like a
small list.
I'm only about this many books away from having all my holds sorted. It's been some of those books 2 years old. But I come in every week. I come in every week.
You just come in to film.
I've come in.
You just come in to film. He uses me like an object to get more likes. I feel dirty every time he leaves.
I dare you. All right, that's all we have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like I didn't talk enough about Secret HQ. Those guys are such great people. Every time I've gone in there, we've had really good chats with them. They're just really friendly people, so it would be really sad to see them have to close the doors. So I'm gonna leave a link to their online store, all their social medias, and if you're a regular there who hasn't picked up their books, just go pick up your books. All right? Thank you for being here, Mark. You are my barista. Say bye, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
And keep it simple. But I don't think it's really, I don't know, man.
You can't say that.
No, the reason
I don't know that.
The reason I say that is because from what other people tell me about the shops that they go to and things that, and I won't name a specific shop, alternate aisles, but like,